A trail of destruction and loss of life. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Kitengela, Kajiado County.
And joining me online now is Professor Kivutha Kibwana. He's a former governor for Makueni, and also, Professor, thank you so much for making time for us. As you give me your reactions of what happened today, Prof, ODM leader Raila Odinga is suggesting an intergenerational national conclave. Is that the direction to take?
Well, first of all, I think, Trevor, many Kenyans are really saddened by what is happening in our country. I'm saddened myself. In terms of this idea of young people being killed, when there's the demonstrations, which are allowed by the Constitution. And of course, one of the negative things is this introduction of, they are called goons, although I still want to call them alternative youth, because they also misdirected youth who are being told you can go there, destroy property, do all those things, so that it appears as if it's the demonstrators who are doing this. And as a consequence, even businesses begin to say that this is costing us a lot, it shouldn't happen, and all that kind of stuff. So this cocktail of response from the state, from the government, does not augur well for our country. And just to say, for those 19 young people, and we don't know how many more people have been killed, again, we must continue to say to the families, Paul, it's very expensive to fight for freedom. And Trevor, these young people are going to just go away. And that is why there's to be a solution, first of all, for the government, for the state, for the leader, of this country to find an alternative way of dealing with this situation. And so in terms of what Raila said, today, and saying that the police should be reformed. This is a story of reforming the police that has happened a long time, through BBI, NADCO, through Kriegler, through, those days. But I think, first of all, for this dialogue, first of all, the youth, you can't have dialogue when you're killing them. You have to stop doing that so that even they can begin to reflect. Is this what they want, to happen? And who is going to, to be involved in it? How different will it be from BBI, from NADCO, from when the elite have a dialogue with themselves? But I think that it is something that will be unescapable at the end, because the youth, first of all, perhaps need to talk among themselves. And they are assured that there is cessation of all this brutality and so on, so that they can themselves talk among themselves. And they can even ask, can we trust the religious sector? Can we trust professionals? Can we trust people from abroad? But we know, like in 2007-8, there was a dialogue. And now, again, at the end, people will have to talk. But I can't say of now who will be believed by these young people, so that, and then the system itself is able to, to stop this madness, to apologize, and to say to the entire country, that we must now, talk, and because this way we are going very soon not to have a country anymore. They are talking about nane nane, tisa tisa, kumi kumi. So will we survive all this if we don't have our senses back?
But Prof, who do you talk to when the Gen Zs themselves have said that they don't have any leader, and what should the subject be?
You see, the system has already identified some leaders and hurt others, killed, some and so on, because from when they talk in the X spaces, when they are in those demonstrations, relatively, among the young people, there is leadership. But initially they were saying they were leaderless because it was a movement like the Black Lives Matter movement, where, there are many parts to it. There are the artists, there are, influencers, there were artists, there were, there were all sorts of people, but I'm sure that it is possible to, if they themselves decide they want to talk among themselves, and they can do that, and then they can give a proposal to the country. And they have said before that, we don't want to be killed every day. We want employment. We want the constitution, to be implemented. We want, actually, by and large, they have put their matters. We want rule of law. We want an empathetic country, so they have put those things on the table. But, the more, there isn't like feedback from the state, the more they'll say that they just want, they want the government to collapse, and they don't care whatever else happens, because these are people without jobs. There are people without livelihood. There are people with their degrees and so on. So really, this country must be called to the, to come to the order. And if I was the president, which I'm not, I would, say, how do I talk to these people? I am their president. And of course, we don't believe so, but I am at least the leader constitutionally. So I would say that now, let us, even the religious people now, they should be coming forward. The professionals, the business people, all these people now should say that the country can't continue this way. It will just collapse. And when it collapses for everybody, for all of us.
All right. Thanks, Professor. Professor Kivutha Kibwana, they are speaking to us online as a former governor for Makueni. Thanks for making time for us, Prof. Now, what began as to be a